Hello and welcome to Wolverines Weekly, the preseason show. I'm Nolan Shelby. Pretty much what I'm gonna explain this really quick. The preseason show is gonna be something that I do leading up until actual season 2 and the Wolverines Weekly season 2 episodes. That's just gonna be short little 4 or 5 minute videos where I talk about random Michigan related news. And this is, I guess, part 1. And today I'll be counting down the top, just counting down the Adidas uniforms. I wanted to look back and count down the Adidas uniforms that we've had throughout the years. So coming in at number 5 is a tie between the 2011 MSU Bumblebee uniforms and the 2013 Outback Bowl uniform. These two uniforms I put directly tied with each other because they're both bad. I mean, now I'm a fan of the all whites that we wear for our throwbacks, and that's later on in this list, but these uniforms are just bad. I mean, the white pants for the Bumblebee uniform looked fine, and I liked the blue, kind of no piping around the numbers that they had on it, but the blue and maize stripes on the shoulders just didn't look good at all. And then for the Outback Bowl uniforms, you couldn't read the numbers. You were in the Florida sun with bright yellow, and it was the Adidas bright yellow numbers. You couldn't read them. You didn't know who was who, what number was what number, and the blue on the shoulders like offset everything, and the matte finish on the helmets did not look good against the Florida sun. Number 4, the 2014 Under the Lights 3 uniforms. Now these uniforms had all the aspects to become a good uniform. They had a big hype around them when Adidas announced they were going to do an alternate for the Under the Lights game. And everyone was like, yeah, this could be something good, because I think everybody kind of knew Adidas was coming to its end with Michigan, so everybody was looking forward to something a little bit different, because we hadn't had an alternate uniform at all that year. So I think everybody was like, okay, cool, what's something new? And then they released these all blue with like shiny stripes, and the numbers were kind of shiny, and the pants had shiny stripes on them, and it was not good. And the yellow that they didn't even use like a maize. I mean, Adidas was known for using a yellow and not a maize, but they used like a bright yellow on these jerseys. I wanted to like these uniforms. I have a jersey, right? I bought an actual like Tech Fit jersey that was the Michigan Tech Fit, so I wanted to really like these because they had all the aspects of a great uniform, but it just didn't play out. It looked bad. Number 3, the 2012 Cowboy Classic uniform that we wore against Alabama in the Cowboy Classic kickoff. I really did like these uniforms. They looked okay. Now, I wish that they might have changed a few things up. Like, I didn't like the black M that was on the shoulders. And I didn't really like the gloves with the Hail to the Victors that were on them. But beside that, the jersey itself, the yellow shoulders and the blue numbers, it looked great with the yellow, with all maize pants. And I find that funny because I put the Outback Bowl uniforms, which are pretty much just a swapped version of those, further down on the list. But I mean worst on the list. But I really did like these. They were great uniforms. Sadly, the game didn't go as planned, but I really did like these. Number 2 is another tie between this year's all-white 1975 throwback uniforms. And I am counting these because technically they're not our normal white jerseys and maize pants, or blue jerseys and maize pants, because they are off of that. So the all-white 75 uniforms were amazing. There was so much hype around these because there were a few little leaks here and there, and Harbaugh had said that there's something different going on, and a few players had said that they got new stuff, and there was a few leaks of these new uniforms, but nobody knew for official until we saw them, and they looked good. And they are tied with the 2012, technically, Sugar Bowl uniforms. The white jerseys with the blue stripes and the black M on the chest. I'm actually wearing the Sugar Bowl t-shirt right now. It just looked great. Number 1 on the list is the Under the Lights uniforms from 2011. I loved these, and I know everybody else did, because they were something different. Now, up until that point, Michigan had no alternate uniforms. None. Nike didn't do any, and then Adidas didn't do any from 2008 to 2011. But they decided to break something out, and they gave them to Notre Dame and Michigan, and it was amazing. It was an amazing atmosphere. It was crazy how that game ended. With Roy Roundtree making a game-winning catch. But all around, it was great. It was awesome. It was a fun game. It was fun uniforms. It was amazing. Now, what does the future hold for Michigan uniforms? Who knows? And like I said, Nike and Jordan take over tonight, but we don't see the uniforms till a little bit later. So stay tuned for the next episode of the Wolverines Weekly preseason show, where I will be discussing my favorite Nike/Jumpman gear. Thank you, and go blue.